Welcome everyone to our AudioVice live stream. We are glad to be with you as we get near and near to AudioVice Live. We're about 14 days away for year number 3. We are super excited. August 2nd through the 4th at the Sheraton in downtown Raleigh. Leon, it is good to have you back. It's been a little while since I think we've been on one of these together.
About 2 years. It's been a while.
A couple of years, maybe just so everybody can live vicariously through you. You've been to a couple of cool places here recently. Maybe you can share a little bit about just to what everybody's appetite a little bit for what you've been up to.
Well, I'm mostly retired now. I'm the founder of AudioVice, as you may know, and just been traveling around the world trying to enjoy life while we can still walk. So
very cool. Well, you've certainly earned it, and glad that you are back with us. Again, you founded AudioVice back in, believe it or not, 1978. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
When you must have been in middle school or high school, because there's no way you can be that old.
I was 23. I turned 70 in a couple of weeks, man.
Well, happy early birthday. So thanks for joining us. You are going to be hosting one of our panel sessions. Maybe you can give everybody just a little bit of a heads up about what you're going to be hosting on Sunday at AudioVice Live.
Yeah, so we the first panel session we had on turntables was kind of basic, and the feedback we got was to go a bit deeper. And then we got the feedback again at the end of last year is to go even deeper. So we'll be getting really into, there'll be some basic questions, but more into kind of a deep dive in turntable setup, which should be a ton of fun. Got some very knowledgeable people on the panel that should give us a lot of insight into that.
Yeah, so you got some industry experts who are going to be joining you, and I know that's going to be really well attended and probably incredibly informative for everybody that's in attendance. So for everyone who's joining us today, it's great to be back. Thanks for all of the support that you guys have shown us over the last couple of weeks. That we've been bringing some of our industry partners on to talk about what it is that they're going to be showing off at the show. Let us know where it is that you guys are joining from. It's always great to see where people are joining this live stream from all over the country. Really appreciate this support, not only from the country, around the country, but really worldwide, as we see a lot of folks joining us from Europe and overseas. Just a little bit about AudioVice Live that we want to share. So we've got a big kickoff on Friday night. We're going to be kicking off at Lincoln Theater. If you guys can see here, we've got a really cool Motown band that's going to be joining us, and Scott Newnham, who's our CEO, is going to be talking about a lot of new products that are going to be launched at AudioVice Live, which is going to be a ton of fun. And that concert, like we had last year, will be packing this house. It's going to be awesome. If you've got a badge for the show, you are welcome to attend with a lot of our VIP customers and our partners from around the country that'll be in attendance. So that's going to be a ton of fun. And then we just have a tremendous amount. We have over 80 brands who are going to be participating at AudioVice Live this year. We've got 10 Dolby Atmos theaters, which is going to be awesome. We've got 2-channel setups. We've got powered speakers from $300 all the way up to some of the best in the industry. A $500,000 stack that I'm sure we'll talk about here just a little bit from our friends over at Macintosh. So if you're into audio and you're into video, this is a show that you absolutely will not want to miss. Right, Leon?
Oh, it should be a blast. It's a great combination of home theater and home audio. We're really the only one like that in the country that combines the two.
Yeah. We've been to some big audio shows. Obviously, we're big fans of Xpona that we go out to every year and support, and they have tremendous audio setups, turntables, 2-channel systems, etc. But they don't really have a whole lot of video or home theater experiences like we're going to have at AudioVice Live. So we'll have $10,000-$20,000 home theaters all the way up to probably around a $500,000 home theater from our friends with the Sony GTZ 380, a Bowers Diamond System, or JVC and Focal with their big setup. Amongst others, Kef and several others. So today we're really talking about primarily around vinyl and turntable. So we probably bring on our first guest here. We're going to bring on John Durda, who's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing over at MoFi. I was just notified, don't forget, we are going to be giving away a Peachtree pair of powered M-Series bookshelf speakers. So if you have a question, drop those in the chat. We'll get through as many questions as we can throughout the show. We've got 4 different guests that we're going to bring on. So John, welcome to the show. I know you've been on several of our live streams in the past. Thanks for joining us again today.
Happy to be here. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to the third AudioVice Live. It's really incredible what you guys have built in just 3 short years. You're right up there with Xpona, high-end Munich. I mean, to have a new show in the same breath as these legendary shows is pretty amazing. So great work. And
thank you. That's rare air there.
That's right. Highest need for sure. So, thank you.
We know it takes a lot of work.
Thank you to you and, your entire team, because you guys, year one, you guys were one of our biggest supporters and continue to be one of our biggest supporters. And you guys are really Even stepping it up more and more this year. So maybe just real quick before we get into what you guys are going to be showing off at Audio Advice Live in a couple of weeks, for those who maybe aren't as familiar with MoFi, or maybe they know MoFi, the brand, but don't know all of the different things that you guys are part of, maybe you can guys just kind of give us a quick run through of what all it is that you guys do.
Sure. So about 10 years ago, we started a new company called MoFi Distribution, which imports brands from around the world. We also manufacture some of our own products under the MoFi Electronics banner. Last year, the big news was we purchased a Music Hall back in December from another industry icon, Roy Hall, who was like Leon, ready to retire and still walk around while he could and go see things. So, we're lucky to be able to shepherd Music Hall into the next generation. That's another brand we'll be featuring at this year's show. And then Hi-Fi Rose, another kind of keystone brand for us. So it's not just all analog with MoFi. Obviously, we're huge analog guys with our vinyl pressings, but digital is killer nowadays. And Hi-Fi Rose has really done a great job of leading the way in digital playback.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's maybe kind of unpack each one of those brands a little bit more in detail. So this year, you guys have one of the big suites up on one of the top floors. So you got a little bit more room this year to show off more of the brands that you guys are bringing. Maybe let's start on the MoFi side. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are going to be bringing there, and then we can unpack a few more of, like you said, Hi-Fi Rose and some of the other ones as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So last year, Audio Advice was actually the North American debut for the MoFi Electronics Master Deck turntable. We will be showing that again this year. That's been a great model. We actually have some cool improvements in the works that all the customers who've already purchased one will get these improvements that we've been working on for the last 12 months. Michael Fremer, who's also been a great attendee and guest at Audio Advice Live, just wrote a review on both the Master Deck and Master Phono. So shout out to Michael. And if you want to learn more about those products, I'd go check out his website, trackingangle.com.
Yeah, he'll be show again this year. And I think, Leon, he's going to be on your panel as well, if I'm not mistaken.
More than likely.
More likely. Okay, TBD. We'll let everybody know once we get that confirmed.
Yeah, so the Master Deck will be our flagship table at the show, partnered with the Master Phono preamp that we also came out with last year. That was kind of our throw everything into making the best phono preamplifier possible with ultimate flexibility. So a lot of customers' feedback through the years has been, hey, I've got more than one turntable, or I have a turntable with multiple tone arms, and I have all kinds of different cartridges. As I've mentioned before, I'm kind of a cartridge collector. And so having all the flexibility of multiple inputs, being able to set your gain and loading adjustments on the fly, really kind of speaks to that kind of customer who just wants one box to cover all of their analog needs. And that's the Master Phono. I should mention the Master Deck we make in our own factory in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Master Phono is also a made in America product with one of our partners out in California. So we try to onshore as much manufacturing for MoFi as possible as well.
Yeah, really cool.
So that's like you said, rarefied air. That's kind of flagship, high-end level. But Music Hall, one reason we decided to buy that brand is they have a incredible assortment of value-leading turntables, starting as low as $249. And I think we sent you pictures of two different models, kind of the big hits of the line, the Music Hall Classic, which is the best-selling turntable in the family. That's a $649 turntable, including a Music Hall cartridge. One killer feature that people love about it, it has auto stop. So for guys like me, if you're having an old fashioned at night while you're playing your records and you happen to fall asleep in your Eckernes lounger, you don't want that stylus playing the whole time while you're sleeping in your chair. So the Music Hall Classic will do an auto stop at the end of the record, saving your stylus. Customers love that feature. And then the Stealth, which is a bit higher in the line, I think that's probably the biggest value in the brand personally. That is a Music Hall's first and currently only direct drive turntable, but that has a super quiet direct drive motor, hence the name Stealth. Roy was always great at naming products. That comes with an Ortofon 2M Blue cartridge pre-aligned and installed for you. So a killer Ortofon cartridge ready to go. VTA on the fly adjustability. And the thing is just built like a brick house. Very solid, heavy, inert, quiet. And that model sells for about $1,650. So we're trying to show the breadth of analog for people. You don't have to spend $10,000 to get into a good analog rig. You can spend, well under $1,000 and get a killer turntable.
Yeah, very, very cool. Really excited to see all those.
Yeah. And then the Source Point speakers. So, that was another big hit starting, when did we launch those? 2 years ago now. with the SourcePoint 10. So Andrew Jones, who a lot of people in our industry know is one of the premier speaker designers, joined the MoFi family. And we started with the big 10 in the middle here of the picture. So 10-inch concentric driver, which was a technology Andrew helped develop way back in the day at KEF, early in his career. Big believer in concentric technology. After about 6 months, we came out with a smaller version, the SourcePoint 8, which is shown on the left there. And then finally, this year's big news, which we debuted at Expona in April and is shipping now, I believe Audio Advice has them in stock today, is the new SourcePoint 888 or 888. So for the person who wants real deep subwoofer-like bass extension in a tower footprint, the 888 has just been a huge hit already right out of the gate. And we'll be showing all three of those at Audio Advice Live. So you'll be able to hear every single SourcePoint model at the show.
Yeah, super exciting. And Andrew's he's put a lot of thought over the years into this, and we obviously have them in our showrooms, and you'll be able to see them at the show. It's an incredible value for the performance that you're able to deliver.
It really is. They just imaged so well. They're amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the real unique technology around concentric drivers. The speaker just disappears. It's very coherent. But people like bass, and that's where the 888 comes in. I mean, that thing in room, we're getting into the 20 to 25 hertz range. So true full range sound out of a tower speaker. Those are priced at $49.99 a pair. So I think just an incredible value on offer with the SourcePoint range.
Very
and
cool.
We'll be driving that with a new Hi-Fi Rose integrated amplifier. And, not to leave digital out, this is an analog live stream. We are hoping, fingers crossed, I can't 100% guarantee it right now, to show the new RD160 from Hi-Fi Rose, which is the company's first ever dedicated DAC,
Right, yeah.
which you guys may have seen at Munich this year. They just finished pre-production, so they're testing it out right now. And hopefully we'll be able to do the North American debut at Audio Advice Live. We're pushing really hard for that.
That'll be really cool. That'll be awesome. Maybe for those who aren't as familiar with Hi-Fi Rose, the brand, maybe you can share just a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, so Hi-Fi Rose is from Seoul, South Korea. Came out, it's been almost 4 years now, I believe, with the RS 150 streamer, the 250. So that's an all-in-one streamer DAC. And really its signature kind of calling card that makes it instantly recognizable is the beautiful LCD display on the front panel. So you can do not just touchscreen, you can have meters, big cover art, big metadata, and just see everything on that screen. And it gives you the ultimate user interface for a streamer DAC. And of course you can control it with an iPad or Android device as well when you're sitting down. But the screen makes it extremely unique. But it's more than that. On the inside, these guys are very serious about high quality audio playback. So you get things like a linear power supply, which is one of the most expensive ways you can do this, state-of-the-art DAC chipsets. Now the models we're seeing here, the RS 130 is a streamer only, and that's the product we'll be showing in the main system at Audio Advice Live. That product's unique feature is fiber optic input for your network. So, one issue with digital playback when you're streaming, it's influenced by your entire network, not just from stability, but from sound quality. So, some companies will sell really high-end Ethernet cables and Ethernet switches. We can remove all of the problems of a network in terms of audio fidelity by using a fiber optic network cable. And the RS130 is one of the only products. There's a few others, but one of the only products that has that capability. We're now going to go a step further with that and do a fiber optic connection between the streamer and the DAC. So again, the whole idea, removing all sources of noise, electrical noise from your system, that's where the 130 and 160 are going to be the perfect pairing.
Very cool. Very cool. Leon, what are you the most excited about seeing? They're bringing a lot to the show this year for sure.
I haven't heard the 888 yet. I think they could sound amazing for the money.
I think that's what's going to drive people to the room. The only show we've done with the 888 so far was Expona, and the room was jam-packed the whole time. And look, I love Andrew, but the man can talk for hours and hours. At this show, you are going to be able to hear the speakers.
You can actually hear them this time.
We're going to play more music than talk. So I love playing any of this stuff for people. That moment where their foot starts tapping, where they get the big smile on their face.
Yeah.
That's one of the most rewarding things about being in this industry, is seeing that engagement with the music and with the products that you've created. So for me, it's the people, not just the attendees. The team at Audio Advice has been so supportive. And that's what makes this event so unique. It's just good times, man. It's like going to summer camp and seeing all your friends.
That's right.
We try to make it a lot of fun for sure, which is really cool. Yeah, I'm going to say his name wrong. I think we put his comment up on the screen just for a second there. Bosker, he said, I have the SourcePoint 8s and I love them, but now I'm lusting for the triple 8s. So can't fault him. Hopefully he can make it to the show and be able to hear him firsthand. And then, John, you're also going to be on Leon's panel, I believe, on that Sunday at 11 a.m. So we're going to be excited to have you on the panel on, as I mentioned, on how to optimize your turntable performance.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys dedicating time at these shows, because education is such an integral part of what we do, right? This is a complicated hobby, or it can be complicated, right? And people can get lost in the weeds between all the misinformation that's spread out, on the internet. Hi-Fi is not immune to that either. And so hearing from multiple experts, people that I, really respect and have known for years, and you can see where there's a common thread and common ideas, and that will really help guide people to making good decisions for their hi-fi.
Absolutely. Hey, real quick, while we have you, just try to get a couple audience questions in here. So first one is, I'm going to put up from Larry. He asked, if in a turntable, does the tone arm actually affect the audio quality? Leon, thoughts? Or John, we'll go to you first.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. The tone arm, if you had to have a hierarchy, the tone arm is probably the most influential on the audio quality of the whole turntable playback device. Everything matters with analog, but I think the tone arm is usually the weak point on most turntables. And so that's why you'll see super high-end turntables. They'll be spec'd out with a very high-end tone arm. You're dealing with friction, noise, a very minute signal traveling down these cables. So anything that the tone arm gets wrong will be heard through the playback of your record.
Right.
So absolutely.
And then a couple of questions. Again, part of this, I think, is sort of demystifying everything that maybe people are cautious about asking questions because maybe they're just not knowledgeable about the topic. So here's a question for folks or for you guys. How do I decide between a moving coil over a moving magnet? Maybe just kind of quickly talk about or touch on the difference between the two.
Yeah. So moving magnet, definitely an easier technology to implement into a cartridge. You typically get higher gain out of a moving magnet cartridge, so it has some benefits that you don't need as much gain in your preamplifier, which can be a good thing. It's more universal. So if you don't have a dedicated phono preamp, most of the time you'll find a only input on your preamplifier or your receiver. But ultimately, moving coil is going to offer you more resolution, more air, better fidelity. It just requires a better preamplifier in order to use that.
Yeah, you have to think of the price of the moving coil and then the price of a better preamplifier to go with it.
Very cool. And then let's see, we've got a question here specifically about the source points. He says, with the new 888s, do you need a sub or not effectively?
I don't think you need a sub with the 888s. I mean, you effectively have 4-inch woofers all in their own dedicated chambers. Every driver in a source point 888's in a dedicated chamber. So if you have enough power to support it, you can get down to almost the very bottom octave just with the 888. So unless you're playing some real deep pipe organ, I don't think you need it necessarily.
Do you know their sensitivity?
So they're 87 dB. And, Andrew would want me to say that's a true rating. We find a lot of, speakers are overrated on their sensitivity. So they're not hard to drive. I find that usually 50 watts minimum with a good high current amp is fine. But we've driven it with 400 watts and it will take it all day long. So it really depends on what you're trying to do with it.
Very cool. Well, John, thank you so much for jumping on the live stream with us to talk a little bit about what you guys are going to be showing off here in a couple of weeks. And again, we really, really appreciate the support from you and for all the team. And you guys, I know you'll have a handful of folks joining you as well from your team. So we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. And again, thank you for all your support. And thanks for hopping on the live stream.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
See you soon.
All right. Leon, that was awesome. We've got coming up next, we're going to bring on Robert Bruce from Fine Sounds. So I know we'll bring him on. Robert, thanks for joining us. You're probably the first time you've been on one of our live streams. We are glad to have you.
It is the first time, but been in the industry a long time and have a lot of experience. But really, my whole motivation for being in the industry is a love of music And so that's what drew me in years ago, and it's kept me interested and involved. And I'm very analog oriented, even though I do stream high res and subscribe to Qobuz and Tidal and have a high res streamer. And those are really cool. And I learn about new music a lot, but I'm still an analog lover. So when I get a chance to sit in front of my system and play music, I put a record on my turntable and have thousands of records and still collect and buy used and new, and crazy about good music reproduction from analog. So it's been a fun ride.
Well, obviously a topic that's near and dear to your heart. And you're joining us from probably one of the second best places to get barbecue from. Tell everybody maybe where you're joining us from. Obviously, North Carolina, we're a little biased.
I won't agree with that. I'll bring some barbecue sauce. Kansas City, home of the Chiefs and the world's best barbecue. So
I guess we'll say that's
you won't dissuade me.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with either. Maybe is where we'll agree.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. And again, thank you for all of the support from you and for your team at AudioVice Live. Again, one of the original folks who supported the show in a big way. And I know you guys are bringing in a lot this year, so maybe you can tell everyone maybe a little bit about Project and about Sumiko and all the different brands that you guys represent. And then obviously love to hear more about what you guys are going to be showing off this year.
Yeah. Well, we Project started in 1991, and it was the answer to there weren't any good affordable turntables. That was a point in time when CD was the dominant format. Records were dying off. Even though there were tons of records still on the market, there were no good affordable turntables. So Project brought out their first Model 1 turntable. It was affordable, and it was a huge success worldwide. And since that point, grown into a complete line of turntables from $350 to $15,000.
Yeah, wow.
And then in 1999, the first electronics came out. So Project makes phono preamps, CD players, record cleaning machines, a whole host of other associated electronics, all 2-channel, all made in Project's factories in Europe. So design, engineer, build, the company headquarters are in Vienna, Austria, and then manufacturing in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. And things like metalwork and even making tone arms. We were talking, Jonathan, just a little bit ago about the impact of a tone arm to the performance. Project has a line of 24 new tone arms. Mm-hmm. We'll be bringing a couple of those to the show, but we'll be showing our RPM 10 turntable, one of our high-end models that's a really, really fantastic performer. Kind of a hot rod, looks a little funny, doesn't have the normal rectangular big base of most turntables, and that's intentional. Great design, great engineering, and everything for execution of the highest performance rather than, the coolest looking or any other attribute. We'll also be debuting a new turntable. Project has been a big proponent about connecting the phono cartridge to the phono preamp in a balanced configuration. The turntables, phono cartridges, cables, phono preamps required to do that have been around for years, but have typically been really expensive. So we'll be debuting a new model called the XAB, and that turntable at $1,600, turntable arm cable that are balanced. You'll be able to connect that to a balanced phono preamp, one of our phono boxes. We offer 4 of them between $500 and $2,000. There are others available on the market, typically quite a bit more expensive. But the cool thing is connecting the small signal of a phono cartridge, which is the smallest, most vulnerable signal in the audio world, to the phono preamp balanced, makes a dramatic difference. It's been available. There are lots of super high-end tables and phono preamps incorporating the balance connection, but nothing very affordable. And not only this new model, the XAB, but a range of Project turntables are capable of connecting balanced from the phono cartridge through the turntable into the phono preamp. The benefit is substantial even if you use single-ended out of the phono preamp, because the most important thing is getting that really small signal phono cartridge voltage out to the phono preamp balanced, and really a cool configuration that's been kind of in that rarefied price range of turntable and phono setup. And so that will be a real emphasis for us. We're also going to have a musical DJ night with Michael Fremer. He'll be in our booth spinning some tunes and talking about analog. And I've seen some comments in the chat about Michael Fremer, and he's a really interesting guy, one of our most, in the industry, most respected analog setup guys. And he will have some fun stuff to talk about and some great music to play. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Michael's been on our live stream a couple of times, I believe, and is always a great guest and always a lot of fun. And again, he's been a huge supporter of the show over the last couple of years, which has been awesome. Leon, what are you excited to see from our friends at Project this year?
Well, that new turntable looks really great. I mean, you're totally right. You have so much less noise that way. The signal doesn't have as much chance of picking up any noise. What's y'all's least expensive moving coil that would work with that, Robert?
Well, in moving coil, that would be the Sumiko Bluepoint number 3.
Okay.
But Project also has a new cartridge called the Pickett Pro B, which is what's going to be pre-installed on this turntable. That is a precision designed moving magnet cartridge that has balance connection.
Oh, because that hasn't been around before.
That is not. Moving magnets typically always one channel. The green pin typically is tied to the chassis ground.
That's right.
And therefore shunts, so you could not connect it balanced. So the new, what Project calls Pickett Pro B, which will be installed on that turntable, and it's also going to be available separately and then on some other tables as well. But that one, it will sell for about $250 on its own, but it will be pre-installed on that XAB. But yeah, for most tables, especially a higher end table where you've got a better tone arm and you want to use a moving coil, that's perfect, because moving coil cartridges are almost all configured to be wired balanced. They don't tie one of the channels of the output to the chassis, right, to the ground.
Right. So that means for under $2,500, you can get into a fully balanced rig with your entry-level balance.
2,100.
Yeah. Wow. And
that's turntable, cartridge, cable, phono preamp, balance configuration. So yeah, that's less than most turntables that are able to be wired balanced.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see, we'll get a couple questions here. So Robert asked, what goes into the decision of matching a tone arm and a turntable?
A whole bunch of things. Primarily, it's the performance level. What limits the quality of a tone arm is the same as what limits the quality of a turntable or other elements, and that is machining quality, tolerances, materials quality. And so Project, in the range of, let's say, a $600 turntable, our debut Carbon Evo, which is a huge selling turntable, it has a very good tone arm, but there are cost restrictions. It's, I would argue, the best in its price range. However, because it's on a $600 turntable, there are limits. As we go up the line in price, the turntable we looked at a moment ago has better bearing housing, has a better tolerance in the machining of all the finished parts. So the end result is the tone arm itself is less resonant. It is more mechanically stable, and then will allow a better cartridge to get more off the record. But I think that it's a kind of important thing that the quality of the turntable and the tone arm and the cartridge all play into the achievable performance And so balance is the key. So as you go up the line in the project range, the turntable gets better. We have better bearing for the platter to spin on, better motor, better power supply, more inert plinth. We have a better tone arm. We supply with a better cartridge until you get into our high range. And then the cartridge is separate so that you can choose precisely the cartridge you want for the quality and the character of your system.
Yeah, definitely a lot to consider for sure. We've got a ton of questions coming in now. So Leon, Robert's also going to be on your panel, so we don't want to steal too much thunder. We want to encourage people to come to the show and make sure they attend your panel on Sunday.
We haven't touched on any of our questions yet, though, so we're good.
Okay.
All right, Leon's got a couple in his back pocket he's going to hold for the show. Well, Robert, thank you for hopping on the live stream. We really appreciate it. Again, thank you for supporting the show in a big way. We can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And I think that one of the things that's exciting for me is it's very oriented to the public. Instead of a trade show, it's really, and it's not a high pressure, it's a come learn, come experience, come see, come hear, come ask questions of people that you will appreciate the answer you get. So it's really a great learning experience for everybody.
Yeah, well, thank you again for the support. And to your point,
Thank you.
a consumer event that gives us the ability to really show off, some of the world-class experiences that our brand partners are able to create. So thank you. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Thanks. See ya.
All right, Leon, 2 down. We got 2 more to go. Up next, we're going to bring on Bryce Allen from the Sound Organization. Bryce, welcome. I know you've been on our live stream a couple of times, so welcome back.
This feels oddly familiar, but
yeah,
yes. I was younger then, maybe not 2 years ago, but it was certainly there. So yeah, that's right. So yeah, I look after Riga for you lovely people, and happy to summarize what we're bringing. We're bringing a couple of new things that haven't been listened to or seen in America yet. We've got first and foremost our new ND3 cartridge on the Riga Planner 3 turntable, and some Aya loudspeakers that are also going to be fresh for people to experience, because really, the important bit I would posit is we try to make amazing audio experiences end to end. We're one of the few companies you'll have at the show that build it from one end totally to the other end. Most companies say, "Oh, you should go and buy this other thing," but we transducer to transducer, as crazy as that sounds. But happy to go over anything that would be helpful for the audience at large to cover.
Yeah, maybe just real quick for those who aren't as familiar, with Riga, just give us a little bit of the history of the brand, where it's located, and
so
the ranges that you guys cover.
Yeah, happy to cover that. So Riga is about 51 years old now, because we just had our 50th anniversary. So we've been doing it a good number of years now, and they're all based in the south of England, and we build everything on site in a factory with real humans, rather than buying lots of parts and assembling them at random, and all the problems that comes along with.
I don't think we have it ready to show right now, but you guys have some great, factory tours where people can see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see. You can probably add it in the comments box at the end of all this, but it's an amazing factory to visit. People have a lot of comfort in their jobs. They're very proud of what they do, which is, rather than just imagine putting bits inside machines all day, that would drive me crazy. But certainly an engineering-focused company building the best value equipment that engineering and material science can bring. So a little bit like Robert's comment is the best stuff you can get with the value that you have, that science and engineering can bring. Is really the terribly quick synopsis of who we are.
Yeah, very, very, very good. And yeah, maybe just a little bit more about what folks can see.
So we start with our Riga Planner 3 turntable, which is everyone's probably familiar with Riga as a turntable brand, but we're much, much more than that. But certainly a beautiful thing with the new cartridge on it, featuring an entirely unique neodymium magnet assembly. I can delve too deep, but I don't want to be taking hours of people's time on that. But taken 10 years to do. It's wonderful to talk about it, but we've established this is a better way to create low-level signals and do it properly. Lessons learned from our moving coil project, and we've applied them here in moving magnets. So we've got 3 moving magnets, 3, 5, and 7, that we're going to be playing the little one. And then an amplifier, we've got a Riga Elex amplifier, which is, again, added a little bit that people had requested. So we've now got a D2A converter inside. So wonderful moving magnet phono stage to go with our new moving magnet cartridge. And then the Ayas is going to be the first public outing really at a show. And they're quite unique because they're glass reinforced cement. So if you take a look at them, probably pull up a wee picture on the screen. They look quite unusual. We tried to make great sounding boxes, but wood was becoming incredibly expensive to deal with. So we went away, did a lot of research, worked with a very good caster, effectively, and we've made this better speaker that we think is amazing. You know, it's $2,300. The commentary I was going to give you, or less than 20, yeah, 23. The whole system I'm playing is less than $6,000, which will probably shock people. I want to be sure that people are kind of, you know, listen to everything and then go, yeah, I can do this for less than the price of a second-hand Camry from 10 years ago.
Is it significantly, are the speakers significantly heavier?
No, they're really light, actually. That's what the glass reinforcement's all to do. So you'll put, you know, I'd almost welcome people to come in and look at it and touch it with me, and they'll see what they're like. They're originally, when I saw the photograph, I wasn't quite sure, but I own a set in my house now. Okay. So that speaks volumes for a guy that gets to play with everything and buy nothing.
Yeah,
which is important.
Bryce, are they stand bound or floor bound?
Floor standing. So they're totty little floor standers. They are only 35 inches tall. So about my waist height. That puts me in perspective as how tall I am. But a great 89.5 dB sensitivity if someone wants to be curious about that. So it doesn't take much to get them going. So it's a quite remarkable 2.5 way design. For those who want to ask me questions about that, but certainly if there's anything that anybody wants to bring to light, happy to answer.
Yeah, they're playing
$2,300 a pair.
$2,300 a pair, and that's what the brilliance of just dealing with materials, not kind of trying to make them look like everybody else. We kind of almost laugh in the face of all these other companies that are trying to do things. If we can figure a way to do something smartly, consistently, and can do it properly, that's what we'll do. So, you know, these speakers, as I said, I first looked at them and I wasn't quite sure. And then I heard them and I was like, they're my next speaker then, surprisingly enough.
So real quick, let me just walk us through the full system then. You said $6,000 total, $2,300 for the speakers, the Planar 3 that you're going to be driving this with.
And then it's about a $1,700 amplifier. And then it's about a $1,400 turntable. So the amazing thing is we've got a cartridge that's way better than the old one, and it's exactly the same price. So 10 years have passed, and in the duty of that, we all know everything's got dearer, but the engineering that we've applied and the lessons learned from education and doing this for 50 years has made this thing sound better and be the same money, which is pretty remarkable. You're going to have to hear it. I invite everyone to come and have a listen. You have to listen to me. I'll try not to speak as much as this in front of you. I'll play some music, and I'll let you tell me what you think.
I think we had a few folks that maybe got lost in translation. They said 2,300 pounds.
Oh,
Is that how much they cost or how much they weigh?
Yeah, $2,300. Yeah, $2,300. Yeah, so and
2,300 pounds is in weight, but maybe that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's me.
British
That's me being born in the wrong place.
I can't wait to hear those, Bryce. Those sound
it knocked my little socks off, and I get the point. I've been doing this for 20 odd years, so I was like, I'm not sure, and then I went, oh, these are actually remarkable. I'll have a set for me then.
There you go. Perks of the job. Well, Bryce, you're also going to be on Leon's panel as well.
Sure.
So, like I said, we have some of the most knowledgeable folks in the industry. You're one of the crowd favorites when you're on our live stream. So thanks for joining us again on the live stream today, and thanks for being back. Year number 3 at Audio Advice
thank
Live.
you for that. I look forward to it, gents, and I'll see you in person soon enough.
Very cool. We're looking forward to it. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Bryce.
All right, Leon. So we've got a full house. It's going to be a lot of fun at the show, and you got a great panel lined up. This is going to be awesome.
We'll have a blast.
Well, last but not least, let's bring on Bill Voss from Technics. Bill, great to have you. Thanks for joining us.
How are you guys? Thanks for having me on the show today. Great to be here.
Thanks for joining us. Where are you joining us from today?
Up in Connecticut, actually. Yeah,
awesome.
We're undergoing a heat wave, so.
Yeah, a little cooler up there than it is down here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where it's a cool 97 degrees.
Yeah,
we're pretty close today. Pretty close.
Yeah.
But, it's good to see you, Leon. I haven't seen you, and I don't think we've ever met in person, actually, unless it was at CES. So it's been a long, long time.
It's been a long time.
Glad to hear you're enjoying your retirement and
Thank you.
doing all the things you're doing. It's super. And just again, what all of the previous presenters said, I can only echo. Just to see the results and the effort from all your efforts, just an incredible show that you've got, and we're just very happy to be part of it, and being even more of a part of it than we had been. So very pleased with that, and thank you for inviting us here and on the vinyl panel, and just looking forward to showing our stuff off and demonstrating and just being part of your event. So congratulations on all that. And
awesome. We're glad to have you. Thanks for all the support this year. So maybe for those who aren't as familiar with Technics specifically, maybe in the vinyl world, tell us a little bit about the brand, and then we'd love to hear a little bit more about what you guys are going to be showing off this year.
So thank you. A lot of people will just to remind everyone, Technics is a high-end audio brand of Panasonic company, and a lot of people wondered what happened to the brand for a while. In the around 2010, we kind of disappeared for a little bit, and they wondered if the company was sold or who bought Technics and brought the brand back. We came back in 2015 in the U.S. at CES. So we've always been part of Panasonic. Technics has always been part of Panasonic, and it still is. So just to give you a little background. Technics brand was born within Panasonic in 1965. So we've got approaching our 60th year, and we've got always just keep bringing new products to market, and some very interesting, incredible improvements in some already incredible design that we've had over the years. Many people will remember us for our turntables, but truthfully in 1965, the first audio product from Technics was a two-way loudspeaker. So we didn't come out with the turntable impact until 1970, where Technics designed and invented direct drive for turntables. And that's really our biggest claim to fame over the years. And that created a series called the Reference Turntable Series, the SP10, the SP10 Mark II, SP10 Mark III. And today we have a new reference series called SP10R. So our heritage, most people recognize this for turntables. And from that has been born the SL1200 series, which is a legendary product line that sold, legend has it, 3 to 4 million turntables sold over its history, which is pretty amazing. And these were all,
And they've got a Techniques that they've had for decades in many cases, which is awesome.
Yeah, these are all out of... They do. I mean, there's turntable. These SP10s back from the 70s are still in operation, you know, and it's just amazing how the longevity keeps working. And even the lower price turntables, we had some $79 turntables, $89 turntables, belt drive systems back then that are still working today. Just replace a belt and clean it up a little, you know, and you're in business. So as I say, many people recognize us for the turntable brand and direct drive. But what we've been pioneering since the new techniques came back, what people know as Rediscover Music, Technics Rediscover Music, is more on the digital technology and how that contributes to our cause and to everyone's cause in listening. Whether it's an analog turntable, our turntables have so much digital technology in them, even though they're an analog product, and it's all going to the motor control and things like that. So we're very concerned with improving what we've already done in the past, and what, you know, the new techniques brought digital technology to amplification, where we brought our Technics True full digital amplifiers out to the market, which handle a digital signal without having to process it through a DAC. The entire digital bit stream is processed within the digital amplifier, and it avoids having to have a DAC because it's doing all the processing in the digital domain and keeps that signal pristine through the entire process. So this is what we brought to CES in 2015 with a reference series, about a $60,000 reference series, and a $6,500 premium series, all with digital amplification, streaming capabilities, and high resolution loudspeakers and things like that. So since then, we grew from, I think that was a total of 7 products. We've got probably like 28 different models now. So that's this little backstory on Technics. I know we're limited with time, so you know, I think if you have any directive you'd like me to focus any particular direction, please say so. Otherwise, I'd like to tell you about what we're going to show.
Yeah, please tell us what you guys are going to have at the show. We're excited to have you guys this year. Yeah,
so last year was our first year, and we did a great system demonstration with our Grand Series, Grand Class system, and it's about a $15,000 system with Technics loudspeakers. And at the time, we had the M2 series of amplifier and SACD streamer, but we didn't have the new SL1200 GR2 turntable. So this is a new addition that we'll be demonstrating this year, and thank you for showing some images. This is, again, it doesn't look much different from the GR that we had previously, or from even the original SL1200 Mark II introduced in 1979, but these are, this is the latest culmination and an improvement in our direct drive system, where we're calling it Gen 4 of Generation 4 of Technics direct drive technology, and we've added something to the motor control, which is called a Delta Sigma drive system, which is literally digital technology to control that motor and accuracy of the rotation, and to eliminate any micro vibrations that are left, so you can really, really appreciate what's happening in that price point. It's a $2,200 turntable. And for what we're doing there with a coreless direct drive motor system, and just an amazing power supply to back all that up. So if you heard the system last year, we got a lot of great commentary on that system. Everyone loved it. This year, I think you're going to really take a different perspective. And so we'll have the new M2 SUG 700 M2 amplifier, which is our Grand Class integrated, full digital integrated amplifier. Everyone loves the meters. It has a lot of inputs and a lot of capability. We have PC inputs, so you can connect your laptop to it. You can connect 2 coax inputs, 2 Toslink inputs, 2 line inputs. It has main in and pre-out, so if you want to use it as 2 channels of a home theater system, you can do that. It's just an incredible digital amplifier with moving coil phono stage. It's been updated to have a moving coil phono stage, and so this amplifier is the heart of the system, as I mentioned. I may have mentioned or not, but it's about a $15,000 system the way we presented it last year. This year we're going to try listening on some Klipsch Forte 4 speakers, I believe is what Audio Advice is providing. So it'll be interesting to hear the system with some different speakers. It should be a very great sounding presentation. Looking forward to hearing that. But this amplifier inherits technology from the reference amplifier SUR 1000, our $10,000 flagship and it's just an amazing listen, and it's the heart of that system. The SLG 700 Mark II is the CD. It's a networking CD SACD player and a DAC. So within the Technics system, we're transferring everything digitally except for the SACD portion of it. But if you use it on an outboard system with something other than a Technics digital amplifier, it has balanced outputs, and it has something called coherent technology to improve the digital bit stream. It has streaming technology, streaming capabilities from internet radio to podcast capability, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Qobuz, Amazon, Chromecast capable, all works off a wireless app, and just an incredible machine. It is a lot to try to cover in a short time, so I'll try to tell you a little bit more about our turntables, but that's the heart of the system. And we'll have an Ortophon cartridge on, we're going to show some different Ortophon cartridges, but it'll be the new 2M Black Beethoven edition, I believe, LV 250 Beethoven edition. So all in all, under 15,000 for a system total price, and I think it'll blow you away. And in that same room, we'll have static displays of the new 1500C turntable. We'll have it in black, white, and silver, and it looks gorgeous. It's the trimmed down version of a 1200, essentially, for people that don't want that all the features of a 1200. They don't need the 1200 experience, but they want to have a gorgeous turntable and simplicity with some added features of auto lift, built-in phono cartridge included from the factory, and a built-in phono preamp. So there's a lot of flexibility with that, and it appeals to a much wider audience. So that sells for $12.99 suggested retail. And we'll also be showing the, and these are all award-winning products, by the way, if I forgot to mention that. We just keep getting award after award for all the performance of these. And lastly, the SL1210G is a black version of the SL1200G. We'll have that to show off the difference in color balance. And that's our flagship in the 1200 series with a twin rotor designed for the direct drive motor, and a magnesium tone arm, a 3-layer platter, a 4-layer plinth, heavyweight dust cover, just an incredible 40 pounds or so of a turntable that, again, is just really something to see. So that's our presentation, basically. I don't know if anyone has any questions. If you want to redirect me, I'm sorry if I got so long-winded, but
no,
clock for you. You know, we're getting close to 5, so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite the system. Leon, first impressions?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. The Technics turntables always just blow me away. And when I haven't heard the new amp, I really like the first one. So it'll be curious to hear this new one.
Very good. The improvements are definitely something that you will appreciate in all 3 of the M2 versions, the M2 and the GR2. You'll appreciate those differences, no question. They're audible, yeah. And the features are very worthy new introductions as well.
Very cool. Well, thanks again. And Bill, you're also going to be on Leon's panel, so it's going to be quite the A-list of panel members. Leon, you got quite the work ahead of you, and make sure you can extract as much information out of these guys as we possibly can to be quite the session. I'm sure you got lined up for everybody.
Yep, we should have fun.
Gonna be fun. Well, Bill, thanks again for supporting the show again this year, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it as well. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very much, Leon. This has been a lot of fun. Obviously, vinyl's kind of had this renaissance, but it just keeps on going, right?
Oh yeah, there's no stopping it. It's too much fun.
People are just as much as into it now as they were, years ago. And I think even my daughter is starting to get, she's 15, she's starting to get build her record collection, which is pretty cool to see. Well, let's announce our winner again. Thank you for everyone for joining. We can't wait to see everyone at the show in 2 weeks. Go to audiovice.live. You can get your tickets today. Again, August 2nd through the 4th in downtown Raleigh. It's going to be a ton of fun. Can't wait. So this week we're going to be giving away a pair of Peachtree M24X speakers, the new version with the latest Bluetooth. Some folks were asking what the difference is. Has built-in phono, has the built-in Bluetooth. It's incredibly versatile, great pair of speakers. And we're excited to give those away. So our winner this week is going to be Dwayne Harris. So he says, I got a pair of Project Phonos for years now. Only thing I need to get is better sound, is a good set of bookshelf speakers. So Dwayne, congratulations. These will absolutely work great for you. So we will reach out to you and get you set up with a brand new pair of Peachtree M24X speakers. Thanks again to all of our guests. It's been a great session. We can't wait for the show. It's going to be a ton of fun. Thank you for everyone who's joined us over the last couple of weeks that we've been talking about AudioVice Live. We can't wait to see the folks who are going to be able to see the show, and be sure to follow us on social, on YouTube, on Instagram, all across the weekend of the show. We'll be posting lots of content from the show and a lot of highlights and so forth. So, Leon, any last words?
Yeah, stick around through Sunday so you can attend the great turntable session.
That's right. We're going to save the best for last.
It'll be the best one
on Sunday. So be sure to check it out. We've had huge turnout at the show at these panel sessions last year. They're going to be, I'm sure, just as well attended this year. So thanks again for everyone for joining us. We will see you at the show, or we'll see you on our next live stream.